he's got to play the points. You see, when we're watching that game, the first quarter, the second quarter, were like night and day. Mm-hmm. The second quarter is going to be more indicative of what the playoffs are like, where you're not going to get layups and dunks. You're going to have to run your half-court offense. And that, to me, Bledsoe can get his shot, and he can play the point. That's why he's the most important player. Because Giannis, as great as he is, they're going to back him up. They're not going to let him get all those dunks. He's going to have to make some jumpers.
They're going to triple team him.
They're going to triple team it. Bledsoe's the guy who can get him out in the half court and speed him up. But also, he's a good one-on-one player. So to me, Bledsoe's going to be the key how far this team goes, because it's like night and day when they slow down. Their half-court offense is not good at all.
Let me throw this out there on Malcolm Brogdon. We talked about it in the pregame show, talked about the 50-40-90.
50-40-90.
50 from the floor, 40 from three, and 90 from the free throw line. How many of the other 7 can you name? Only 7 other players have done it.
I could name some right off the bat.
And you have to have, the required minimum.
Mark Price.
Yes, Mark Price.
Larry Bird.
No, not Chris Mullin.
Larry Bird.
Steve Nash.
Larry Bird did it twice.
Steve Nash.
Steve Nash did it 4 times. You got Mark Price.
Four. I thought that was okay. That's not the 7. I got you.
7 different guys.
7 different guys.
Ray Allen.
Ray Allen, no. One of our TNT announcers, Reggie Miller, has done it.
Reggie Miller, 40.
Yes.
I was close as hell one year, too.
Close to what?
Dirk Nowitzki has done it.
Dirk has did it,
and a couple of teammates right now, current teammates, have done it.
Wow. Klay Thompson and Steph Curry.
Steph Curry and Kevin Durant.
Durant.
So there you go for your 7. And Malcolm Brogdon trying to become 8th.
That's impressive.
To accomplish that. Get off Wisconsin is right.
Guys you probably want to meet in life.
I was actually a little more popsy.
I would like to meet the Fonz.
I did meet the Fonz on the
Fonz is still doing some good work.
He's doing great work on TV and behind the scenes. I would love to meet Henry Winkler.
He told me to tell you no.
Never met him?
I never met him.
You got to come to L.A. more.
Welcome to the American Express Halftime Report. American Express, the official card of the NBA.
Game 2
M&Ms.
of our doubleheader.
Tell you what, boy.
That's a NASCAR jacket.
It is a NASCAR jacket.
You can. Hey, listen. If you're as great as he is, you can dress how you want to.
Got the leather pants that Eddie Murphy's on.
That's a bad young man right there.
You got 3 teams. 3 teams are 39 and 25 out west. The Blazers and Thunder, who play later on TNT.
Ernie.
Roommate not chilling in our place here on 68th and Wauwatosa. Yeah, it all started here. Come on back and let's get brunch at Blue Eggs. Hey, if we're there at conference finals, if we're in Milwaukee for the Eastern Conference Finals, you're on. I'll meet you at Blue Eggs.
Hey, Ernie.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that second game tonight. Hey, let me tell y'all something. The Portland Trail Blazers going to be a problem in the playoffs. I'm telling you now.
I said that earlier today on NBA TV. I said they're going to make the NBA Finals.
No.
I said the Portland Trail Blazers are the NBA Finals.
First stop tonight, mean streets of Milwaukee. The Great Freak and the Bucks with the NBA's best record. But for the first time this season, they've lost consecutive games.
I thought he was going to lay that.
They'll host Indiana, number 3 in the East, in our opener. And a bit later, Russell Westbrook and the Thunder have struggled since the All-Star break, and things won't get any easier with a trip to Portland. 2 games in the NBA tonight, and they're both on TNT. The Pacers and Bucks, the Thunder and Blazers, as we welcome you to TNT NBA Tip-Off presented by Auto Trader, Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Charles Barkley is back this week.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
Miss you, Chuck.
Thank you, man. I missed you guys.
Good. Everything good? Everything good with everybody here on the panel? Everything good?
Yeah, everything's good.
Okay.
Everything good with you?
Everything's great with me.
All right.
What's wrong with you, brother?
I just always want to make sure.
I'm just checking, man.
Everything's fine, brother.
I'm just checking.
All right.
Okay.
Just want to make sure before we
checking, brother. Just checking.
Before we set sail.
All right, brothers.
Hey, y'all some funny brothers. Hey, first of all, I think it's too soon.
Okay, it's too soon. Okay.
Can we get to the Auto Trader? Accelerate your game?
Yes, let's accelerate our game, Ernest.
Would that be acceptable to the Chuckster?
Yes, it will be.
Bojan Bogdanović of the Indiana Pacers.
Let's just tell the truth when we got here.
Since Victor Oladipo's injury, averaging 22 points a game and shooting better than 50%.
Wow.
You know what, Kenny? If you leave this up to the jury, I think it's the,
No, hey, look.
The injury.
Get off the chuck. Get off the chuck.
Hey, you guys are hilarious.
Yeah. Let's move on. So that's the question, and this is one of the most surprising things we've seen is the Indiana Pacers. You lose your all-star Victor Oladipo, and you thought, okay, they're 3 in the East. Now they're going to drop to 4, 5, or 6, and that has not been the case. Bogdanovich, one big reason offensively, but in my mind, with a guy like Nate McMillan, who hung his hat on defense as a player, this is what this team also does, Indiana.
Well, I hung my hat on shooting. Doesn't mean if I coach a team, this team's going to be able to shoot. I think.
But you don't think he emphasizes defense?
I think that he does, but I think overall that there was more talent on the team than we all gave credit for. You know, guys who can step up and give you 22 points a game when an all-star goes down. We just didn't credit him. I'm saying we, as the community out here, we didn't give him the credit that this guy could possibly do that. They have a great system. They do have a great offensive system and a great defensive system.
Number two ranking in the NBA in defense.
See, and just collectively, that unit, along with Miles Turner on the defensive end, being able to protect the rim is a big part of what they do. And without him, that probably would have impacted defensively more than Oladipo.
Yeah, every now and then, when a team loses their guy, the others will step up. We had this situation last year with the Wizards. When John Wall was injured, everybody stepped up. And the reason is everybody gets to play a little bit more. Oladipo is a great player, but he does have the ball the majority of the time. Now that he's not there, the ball is moving around. And I have to agree with Kenny. Guys do have a lot of talent, and they're able to showcase their talent.
They didn't get worse. They just stayed the same, which is surprising. Like some teams get better. Last year, Wizards got better. When
but this is all to me about Nate McMillan, because Ernie, they could have had a built-in excuse. Most teams, they lose an all-star, they go down, and this is all Nate McMillan says. We're not going to quit. We're not going to have excuses. He has done the best coaching job. No disrespect to Mike Malone in Denver and Kenny Atkinson up in Brooklyn. Nate McMillan has done the best job of coaching in the NBA this year.
I agree.
They're 25-11 with Victor Oladipo. They are 17-12 without him, and they remain number 3 a game on the loss side ahead of Philadelphia. Meantime, Milwaukee at 48-16, 3 up on Toronto in the loss column, and they win the tiebreaker over the Raptors.
Well, that's a wrap, Dan.
In the Eastern Conference, they're 12-1 in the division. That one loss coming at Indiana, but this is a team that's followed Giannis Antetokounmpo and Chris Middleton, they're all-stars. A guy like Malcolm Brogdon, who could join that pretty exclusive club, that 50-40-90 club. Shoot 50% from the floor, shoot at least 40% from three, and shoot 90% from the foul line. And he's right there right now. He would be the 8th player to do that.
Wow. Someone asked me earlier about the Milwaukee Bucks, and they said, who's their second scorer? I was like, depends on the night. Because the one thing that's great about them, Giannis has the advantage every night. There's no one that has an advantage over him. So now, Bledsoe, even last year, the series with Rozier, he played out of his mind, but he was supposed to have the advantage. Oh, then it might move over to Brogdon. Then it might move over to Middleton. Now it even might move to Lopez at times. And then off the bench, we might even move it to Gasol. So all of a sudden, it's a rotating second man on the offensive end, knowing that at least Middleton is going to be 50-50 with the guy that he's playing against. But everyone else, it's a rotating.
And I'm going to disagree with Kenny. To me, and I said it 3 weeks ago, Bledsoe's the guy. Giannis going to do his thing. Middleton's going to do his thing. The third guy who, after he went out the other night and after he got $70 million, had the best game of the season, Bledsoe is the guy who can be special. He's got all-star type talent. He gets distracted and bored at certain times.
Bored?
But I don't know, right? Because I think he should be more considered. But Eric Bledsoe, to me, is the guy. I love the addition of going out, getting Pau Gasol. That's going to be a nice addition, guy coming off the bench. Because I have to take a look at their roster. I'm not sure if they had any guys who ever been in big-time situations in the playoffs.
Well, they haven't won a playoff series since, 2001, and they've been knocked out in the first round.
But they're going to get
deep
in the playoff this year, and you need to have a veteran guy to talk to some of those young guys. But Bledsoe's the guy to me.
I'm not ready to jump on the bandwagon yet because we all know once the playoffs start, the game's going to slow down.
But what do they have to show you?
I mean, well, listen, they play a very, very fast-paced game, but in the playoff, it slows down. So Giannis, he's still going to have to produce like he's producing, and everybody else is going to have to step up. So if they get out of the first round, get to the second round, then I might jump on.
Well, Shaq, but see, that's the thing. We had this argument on the show about 3 weeks ago. The game is going to slow down.
Yes,
and that's when we told you Giannis got to keep working on his jump shot. And you saying he doesn't have to.
Not during the season, Chuck.
Well, you going to turn it on during the playoffs?
You're going to learn how to shoot the jumper during the postseason?
No, during the summer. You work on that in the summer.
Yeah, but
not this year.
That's next year. But I'm talking about they the number 1 seed in the NBA playoffs. He going to have to make some jumpers for them to get to the next round.
He's going to have to make them, but his diet has to be what got him there.
No question.
I agree with that.
Thank you.
Indiana and Milwaukee coming up, back with more on TNT NBA Tip-Off, presented by Auto Trader in just a second.
You got to come here. Why don't you take another week off?
I want to take a month off.
Don't be coming back questioning me either.
Is the Twitter machine up and running? We got it fueled? Yeah.
Oh, y'all some funny people. Y'all some funny people up there, Alex.
Yeah, but he finds
That wasn't from Alex.
But he finds
somebody been reading the paper, I see.
Yeah.
The Greek Freak. And yes.
Oh my goodness, man.
Okay, Chuck.
I love it. You go. Oh, I like that. Break it down.
You like that?
I like that.
Yeah, he does like that.
I do like that.
Yeah. Need him at Bulldogs, Ma.
Bucks are coming up next with the Pacers.
Steam Room Chronicles.
Game because of Mike. When you're growing up and you're seeing Michael Jordan, it's almost like a god. So I didn't never believe I could be Mike. I never thought that you could get to a point where Mike was. So I think that helped shape my game. I think the biggest thing for me is that I did it just being me.
Well, the Lakers lost to the Nuggets last night at Staples, but Lakers fans did get to witness history. LeBron James passed Michael Jordan for 4th on the all-time points scored list. He finished with 31 to put him at 32,311 points as he's wrapping up his 16th season in the NBA. And afterwards, he talked to our Dave McMenamin.
I would have ever imagined this. You just don't make it out. You just don't make it out where I come from, and to see me and my best friends growing up, to see all the success we've had in our own respective lives, with the possibility of us never ever being able to make it out, and to know that I'm linked with, some of the greatest that ever played this game, man. It was just, very emotional for me. Like I said, MJ was everything. MJ was everything for me growing up as a kid.
Speaking of MJ, he did issue a brief statement last night congratulating LeBron on, quote, another great milestone. And then this is what LeBron posted on Instagram. Thank you, MJ. Still tripping about last night. Couldn't have in a trillion years thought that would be here possible, especially knowing where I come from and what I watch him do every single night. Doesn't make sense to me, to be honest. Man, it's crazy, end quote. Stephen A. Smith joins us now from Los Angeles. Stephen A., I was watching. I saw you there last night. What was your reaction when the moment happened and LeBron passed Michael Jordan?
Sadness over the fact that he did such a tremendous thing, accomplished such a tremendous goal, and it was sullied by the environment in which he did it. The Lakers were stinking up the joint. They were en route to being down 19 before succumbing to the onslaught from Gary Harris and those boys and losing that game. Ultimately, in the aftermath, you looked at the Los Angeles Lakers and you were reminded of what he was playing with, how they had an inability to really compete and be formidable in the grand scheme of things. And you just found yourself thinking about all the things that LeBron had accomplished. And unfortunately, that is clearly not the case. Yeah. It was not the case for him last night.
Yeah, again, it was a 16-point loss to a very good Denver Nuggets team. But near the end of that game, Rajon Rondo, I know you know, he was seen spotted not just away from his teammates, but way down the bench amongst the fans. We saw LeBron do that earlier this year in that blowout against the Pacers, but this seemed different. Listen to what Mark Jackson said on the call last night.
Look where Rondo is sitting. unless he's coming in the game, there's no excuse for that. That can happen. For whatever reason, that can happen. That's not a winning culture. Now, he may be doing it for the right reasons. There's no right reason, in my opinion. That's unacceptable. Who's carrying? Who's leading? I mean, somebody's got to say to them, no, come on down here, man. We're not doing that.
Well, I've done it like maybe 8 to 10 times this year. I don't know why it's a big deal now.
Big deal to you, Stephen A. What do you say?
Well, it's a big deal, but it's a big deal because it just shows the absence of respect that he has for Luke Walton and their coaching staff. And I really think that Luke Walton is getting a raw deal. Please don't get me wrong, but clearly things have just disintegrated to such a degree. So considering the fact that he did that, it wasn't the first time. He is right about that. It's not something that's new, but it does speak to the absence of respect that he has for them and how disgusted he is with this particular situation, because he's on a 1-year deal. He came here to win. We are talking about a champion at the point guard spot who knows he's not in a championship situation, and he's utterly disgusted by the way things have disintegrated, and it showed.
He does have a history, though, of questionable decision-making behavior at times, and I do like what Mark Jackson said there, that, okay, not just the coaches, LeBron, somebody else could have come down and said, hey, get back in here, at least make this look right to the end. We'll see what happens with Rondo as far as next year is concerned, Stephen A. And by the way, you're not done. You're coming back, right, to discuss whether the Celtics have finally figured things out.
More work for me, huh?
Okay. Sorry.
Man never